Let's do this at a decent level. What's the call? It's in and ready to record. Alright. Let's get it. Pop it, boy. Turn me up, turbo. Y'all already know what the vibes be. Drake be speaking to you on this. Let me break it down for y'all. He was like, look, I know girls love Beyonce. Girls love to fuck with your conscience. Girls hate when niggas go missing. And started, you ain't no different. Feel like my love life is finished. I've been avoiding commitment. That's why I'm in this position. He's scared to let somebody in. Why do you think he in this position right now? You know how this shit go. You got your fair share of admirers that call your phone. You try to act like it's just me, but I am not alone. What'd he say? Drake takes pleasure in girls saying his name. It hypes him up to the level of his ego to boost it to the moon. Just take notes. Take notes. Yeah, I love you and you ain't running games. Say my name, say my name. You acting kinda shady. Baby, why the sudden change? Say my name, say my name. Say my name when no one is around you. What do you say? Say my name, cause those other men are practice. This ain't no time for acting. This ain't no time for games. This ain't no time for certainty. This ain't no time for... And started to... This what... And he start chopping. You know how this shit go. This is not 4 years ago. Time escapes you, not forget how it felt when this shit moves slow. All the whip. That's the young boy take that long way home. All my young boys around me saying get money and fuck these hoes. Where we learn these values, I do not know what to tell you. I'm just trying to find a reason not to go out every day. I think it's something that they front door with us. You and I hide no more, but you're not shy no more. Neither want to play the side no more. No, not alone. Even nothing is the same. Let me get your ass alone. We crying together in this episode. This around you. Say, baby, I love you and you ain't running games. Baby, why the sudden change? We crying together this episode. Oh, welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Entangled Thots podcast. I am your host, Poetic Justice, here as humbly as I can. And this is the podcast where there ain't no hoes, but say it with me now, we do think out. If you listen to this on the streaming platforms, go ahead, drop down or drop up in some cases and give us a full 5-star rate. That helps out with the algorithm. That helps us get seen by more people who are in the podcast and helps us grow. Not only that, but we dropping new episodes every Monday and Friday starting and ending your week off right. Let me tell you about the place, guys. The place is free judgment. Free scrutiny. Join the Patreon, guys. For just $1 a month, you get access to 27 different bonus podcasts. And on these bonus podcasts, we come speak free of the lip. There's a lot of things we can't say on the streaming services that we let it all out and play it on the line on these bonus podcasts. So go ahead, do that. And it's a phenomenal way to help support our podcast. And also, shout out to today's sponsor, the Anchor app. But more on that later. How'd y'all feel about that? I was debating on like what to use for the intro song for the pod this week, and like I was listening to Why You Shit, and he intro Drake's song Jaded, and I was like, a Drake song would be phenomenal to start the pod off this week. So like, Girls Love Beyonce has a special place in my heart. I was like probably like 13 when I first heard it, and like when I first heard it, I didn't hear the original version of it, right? I heard like a parody of it. Shout out to Modern War Negro, aka the Black Hokage. He did this like remix. He was like, no girls. Like, he was pretending to be Darth Vader, but like with a. So he was like, no girls like Beyonce. Girls like fuck with your conscience. Girls like. You just go. It was so funny. It was so funny. I had to check out the original song. Checked out the original song, and I was on that shit. I was 13. Drake had me in vibes. Drake had me in vibes. How's your morning going? Now, how's your evening going? Is it going well? Are you on the way to the bag or leaving from it? If so, I hope you have or had a wonderful day today, sweetie. You know. This episode, like every episode, is also sponsored by our Patreon members. From our $1 tier, we got Trinity Moody. We got Cedric Rhymes, Jaden Fields. These are the backbone of our Patreon. If you see them in the street, you respect them as such because they out here big steppers. Then we have our $10 tier. Shout out to Michelle. Let me suck your pussy, Michelle. Yeah. If you see her in the street, you better kiss the fucking feet that she walks on. Oh, kiss the ground that she walks on because she's just blessed you with her presence. That's a big step right there. You respect her as such. How's my week been? Well. The week's been okay. I've been really debating. I was looking back at my numbers and stuff from the pod over the past month. We did phenomenal as far as clips went. The clips went semi-viral. So shout out to those. I love that. Now I gotta keep producing. And yeah, like I made a second batch of clips. They didn't do so well. I think it's because I've been talking a lot of shit. That's why I think these clips didn't do too well. Again, 100% fair. 100% fair. I talk a lot of shit. So, like, ladies, let me reiterate one more time that I'm infatuated with women. If you're a woman, I love you by default. You have, like, I have nothing against y'all, is basically what I'm trying to say. I just say these things out of humor and some things I notice. And again, this is coming from a guy's perspective. I don't know what goes on between a woman's mind. If I did, I would have a harem right now. But I don't get no bitches, okay? I'm bitchless. Y'all ever seen that episode of The Boondocks where Tom lost his girl to Usher? I'm Tom in this scenario. Fuck it, boy, let's get into it. Life's full of tales and stories, but it's those stories of what define our character. This week's being, I don't got a name for this one, which is unironic, but like, I just thought about this story earlier today. Y'all remember Demontime? For the new listeners, Demontime is the name of one of my ex-girlfriends. If you look back in our catalog, you can probably find the episodes pertaining to her. But yeah, y'all remember Demontime? I was just reminded of like a funny little scenario about what happened towards the end of our time together. So let me explain. Demontime was the name that we dubbed my ex-girlfriend. And when we said she was a demon from hell, boy, she was on demon timing. I came home one day and she was getting bust down. Somebody was bust down, Tatiana. I want to see you bust down. Like, somebody was beating her fucking back end, bro. And that's part of it. That's part of the reason I'm kind of bitter. But like, after I discovered this atrocity, it was only right that we end our relationship. However, the place that we were living at the time wouldn't allow me to kick her out because her name was technically on my lease. So she stayed with me for an additional 3 months after I found that out. In that 3 month span, boy, I tell you, I went through fucking hell. Man, like, this is weird talking about my quote unquote trauma. This is weird. Did I just snort? What the fuck? This is weird. But okay. Obviously, the world is paying attention to the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case. I'm not as famous as Johnny Depp, nor do I have as many problems as he does. But when I tell you, boy, I was going through it. Like, you want to talk about Marvin's Room? I was in my shit. Like, I was just depressed because all this shit. Like, cause she would play mental. She would gaslight the fuck out of me. So like, I would be in my room, cuddling up with Kiki, and all of a sudden, you just hear. I'm just like, damn. How could she do this to me, bro? I thought I was a good nigga. I did everything I was supposed to do. Ain't this some bullshit? I thought I was a good nigga. I held it down for that bitch. And then, come sit around, son. I got the bitch on my own phone. You know what? I'm gonna call one and go home. I've been in the club too. What do you say? The woman at your boy truck. She had me with a good gun. So it's so much. I'ma call her. Fuck that nigga that you love so bad. I know you still think about the times we. Okay, turn that shit off. That's how I felt. You saw how I introed that? That was smooth, right? I thought that was smooth. But all that to say, like, some shit that she would do. And like, I cannot make this shit up. One day, I come home from work, me and the dog, we cuddling, we laying up, and then I'm seeing flies around my room. I'm smelling the smell of shit. Like, okay, I'm thinking my dog shit somewhere inside my room. Look around the entire room, couldn't find anything. Like, what the fuck? Go to sleep that night, wake back up, even more flies swarming around. It's like, I'm now like persistent. Like, I was smelling shit and there's flies. Where the fuck? Bro, tell me why she took a bag of dog shit and put it right underneath the crown of my bed. That's a dirty bitch. That's a dirty bitch. There's a lot of shit that I'm trying to think of, like all the little shit that she did, but like she did a lot of shit like that, and like obviously I didn't put my fucking hands on that bitch. Thank God, thank the Lord above. And incredibly taxing. It took a toll on me to the point one day I was at work. I was making my money. It was a normal work day, nothing too stressful. But one customer pushed me too far, and I ended up having a full fucking mental breakdown at fucking Topgolf. And I'm crying. I'm doing that shit. It's not a good look. All that to say is, like, she put me through a mental fucking turmoil. This bitch was a demon. So one day, we got into a fight, a big fight, to the point where hands were thrown. After said fight, I pondered for a couple of days because now we need to get this bitch out, because like she feel like she want to put her hands on me, and if I put my hands on her, that's not gonna be a good look. So she got to get the fuck out. So I pressed charges on her. I told her like 3 days later after I pressed charges, like, hey yo, I pressed charges on you. And then this bitch went crazier. She goes, You did what? I was like, yeah, I pressed charges on you. Why? The fuck you mean why, bitch? Do you not see these markings on my fucking neck? And these ain't no hickeys, bitch. This some real shit. And she was like, how dare you? And she walked off and she brought another nigga in the house and they had sex. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So, I'm in my room. Got the door closed. Me and Kiki, we laying up. We watching some anime. Eric walked through the front door. She opens the door. I'm so glad I almost got away with murder. All right, Miles. I see what you're doing, demon. I see it. Next time I should just commit the full act since nothing's gonna happen to me. Bitch, why are you doing this? Why you actually, and something told me and I recorded it. I'm pretty sure I recorded it because like this bitch was wilding. So she was like, I'm so glad I finally got away with it. And then I was like, bitch, fucking whatever. I don't fucking care anymore. You're about the police about to come one time, about to knock on the door and take you away. So I go to sleep. Wake back up. She comes back in there. I'm assuming she left and she came back in. This time she was more belligerent, louder. I didn't like it. She was like, I'm so glad I got away with murder. I'm like, oh my fucking God, somebody shoot this fucking bitch. Shoot me in my suffering. And then she just continues and persists. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just ignore this bitch. And I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to go back to sleep. Went back to sleep. Woke back up to my phone blowing up. Bling, 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 bling. Like, who the fuck calling me? What time is it? Check the clock. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, who the fuck is calling me at 2 o'clock? If you are a person that is awake in the wee hours of the night, you're a fucking demon. And you decide, if you're a person that's awake in the wee hours of the night and you decide to call people, you're a fucking demon, okay? How dare you ruin my good sleep? I'm over here dreaming about Rihanna, rainbows, and sunshine, and you're over here fucking that up for me. And like, it's worse when you have an annoying ringtone. Like, hey, yo, your phone is ringing. Pick it up. It's ringing. What you doing? Answer the goddamn. I gotta kill you now. You got to die. That's the only logical explanation. Calling me at 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning. You must be out your rabbit ass mind. So I look at the caller ID, and it's Demontime. Bitch, why the fuck you calling me? We live in the same damn house. You could literally just knock on my door. Why are you doing this to me? You're like, I was about to be on my Chris Brown. Like, I was really about to be, like, I'm thinking about it now. Like, I was really about to be on my Chris Brown shit. And then, like, I think it would have been funny because the reaction that I got versus that she would have got totally different. Because if I went my Chris Breezy, if I woke up Chris Breezy and decided to hit that bitch, oh, you know how many like quote unquote feminists would have hopped in my like fucking DMs like, you know what? You're a sick man. You're a sick individual. How dare you lay your hands upon a woman? You are a man. You're physically stronger. You shouldn't hit a woman ever. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. If a bitch try me, a bitch can get tried. As simple as that. Oh my God, I shouldn't be saying that. That's wild, Miles. You can't be saying that shit out loud, bro. What you doing? You can't be saying this shit out loud, bro. So, I answered the call. What you want? I'm slow. And all I hear on the other side of the phone is, Miles. This bitch said, what? I need your help. Can you come get me? Now I'm hearing the tone in her voice. I'm thinking something's wrong. I'm like, oh my God. This bitch sounds like she in trouble. Not my problem. That is not my fucking problem. That's tough, Chief. I'm sorry. That is tough. Can't help you. And then she's like, I know me, you've been fighting back and forth, but I've been a couple days, but I'm really alone. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm like, and I'm like, deep down, like, I'm laughing. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've just woken up from a deep ass sleep. I am like belly touching my back. I like dead laughing. Like I had the phone muted so she couldn't hear. But I'm like, just bro, like what? It was like part of me like this, like, yeah, you're alone. You're crying. You're in misery. Good. Success. Yes, finally success, revenge. Like, I feel so good. I feel so good about myself because I wasn't alone and stranded somewhere in a random location at 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning. I feel so good about myself. So I was like, all right, I'm not completely heartless. So I go, all right, where are you? Obviously asking the essentials. Where are you at? Who you been with? Are you by yourself? Essentials. So I'm looking at her her FaceTime. She's like, I don't know where I'm at. Looking at her FaceTime. And I was like, bitch, you're in our apartment complex. She's like, well, that let me know this bitch is fucked up. She's severely fucked up. I was like, okay, now I gotta find this bitch. I'm like, all right. So obviously I found what room she was, what apartment number she was at. Walked down there and got her and brought her inside. And obviously I went right the fuck back to sleep afterwards. And I was, all this to say, this is like a fun, chicken fun story, but all of this to say, in no scenario is any kind of abuse accepted. Mental, physical, psychological, well, I guess that's the same as mental. In no scenario is any kind of abuse accepted. It is kind of fucked up that we live in a society that glorifies women abuse and basically tramples or runs over male abuse, because males are taught from a very young age that we have to be strong, we have to be independent, we are not allowed to show our emotions, and a woman cannot abuse us. That's not true. Men can be abused, men can be assaulted. And it's because those gender standards, a lot of men refuse to retaliate. Now, I'm not saying you gotta Chad Johnson a bitch, but I am saying you need to defend yourself. You need to, especially if you're in a romantic type-ish relationship, you gotta think about things other than just, like, oh, this is a person I used to be involved with. That was nasty. This is a person I used to be involved with. You gotta think past that. I know it's hard, but in order for you to finally break the chains, you gotta stand up for yourself. So I hope that rings true for somebody listening to this, because you deserve better, and you should get better. You don't deserve that shit. All right. Let's look up our from one asshole to another this week. All right. There we go. Yeah. Oh. Am I the asshole for not getting a gift? Am I the asshole for not getting my girlfriend a gift for her birthday? I don't know, Brose. Let's find out. My girlfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years. Gifts have been a sort of a sore spot, at least for me. For the first year we were together, she made me some cakes and things for my birthday, which was nice and everything, but then she took half of them and gave it back to the family. It just seemed kind of weird, like, here's your present, but I'm taking that part of it back. Then her birthday came that year, and I did a bunch of stuff for her. I got her balloons, flowers, a card, and some gifts. Christmas came, and I gave her a few gifts, and I didn't get anything. Following birthday of mine, nothing. For her birthday that year, I got her a gift, but didn't go all out like the first year. Last Christmas, she wanted seat covers for her car. I bought them, but wanted to see if she gave me a card or anything, which she didn't. We went to lunch a few days after Christmas. She kept insisting on coming over. I felt like if I had given it to her since they were still wrapped and sitting in my living room, but that sort of thing was the last straw with me and gifts with her. My birthday came, and the same thing. Nothing. So in almost 3 years of Christmas and birthdays, I've got half a gift. I've tried talking to her about it, but she just claims, oh, she forgot, or it has so many other people to shop for on Christmas. She was dropping hints before her birthday for different stuff, so I knew what she wanted. I just didn't want to buy it. Her birthday came, and I didn't get anything. I didn't get her anything. I figured, why keep putting in effort and buy gifts for someone that can't be bothered to even make me a card? It's not a financial thing either, because we're both making about the same amount. And like I said, I'd appreciate a homemade card that she drew or something. So we went to celebrate on Saturday. She kept saying she was excited to get her gift. I took her out to dinner, and then she wanted to come over. So she came over to my house. This is fucking long. She kept looking around for a while. Then I said, okay. Then she said, okay, I'm ready to open my gift. I said, what gift? She said, haha, seriously now. It's my birthday. I said, I know. She said, quit messing around. I said, I'm not messing around. I really didn't get you anything. She said, then why did I come over? I said, I don't know, you wanted to. She said, you really didn't give me a card? I said, no, I just figured we're not doing gifts anymore. I mean, you don't give them, so. She gave her usual excuse. She gave me her usual excuses, like, you're hard to shop for. I'm not. I tell her what I like and some stuff. It was only $5 to $10. Well, I forgot another things. Then she said, it shouldn't be about receiving, it's about giving, but thanks for being a passive-aggressive asshole and ruining my birthday. Am I the asshole for not getting my girlfriend a birthday present? Let me talk to you, bro. I don't think you the asshole. I don't think you are. Because, okay, y'all been together 3 years. That's almost 1,000 days. Or practically 1,000 days. You know her. And you know her habits. She been dropping, if she's like one of those girls that like, girls, why do y'all take priority over a whole month and like name that y'all birthday? This is my birthday month, like every day of that month is your birthday. Explain that to me. What sense does that make? Why? I'm getting that kind of vibe from her. So, she drops hints. Obviously, you're not dumb. You know what she wants. Because she does this on the regular. She does it for Christmas. She does it for every one of her birthdays. So you know. And that, like, you probably like, hey, you probably just told her straight up, like, hey, yo, like, you don't gotta give me anything, but like, if you did, this is what I'd like. Or you probably just like, hey, yo, that's nice. I'd really like that someday. You probably just drop subtle but obvious hints for her like that. And the fact that this bitch don't even, the audacity, where's my gift? Bitch, you can get to stepping. I don't give a fuck. Like, how dare you? For 3 years, I've invested in our relationship, right? And you gonna come up, where's my fucking? You got me 64 trigrams of all kinds of fucked up. You know that? Bro, you're not the asshole. she does need to be a little bit more emotionally intelligent about what's going on between you and her, especially when it comes to gifts. Because girls like that, they like to be pampered. They like to be taken care of. They conform when they want to gender standards. I think you did the right thing. Now, if this is a big problem for her, maybe it's time for y'all to see other people. She don't deserve your sympathy, my G. She don't. Fuck that bitch. She not even that bad anyway. Shit. I keep terrible fucking advice. Alright. So this past last week. I went to this school. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna get in trouble for it. Fucking. Last week, I went to this bar club thingy, and it was dope. I took my lady out. You know, we went out. We had a good time. I showed her the Midtown lights. And she had a good time. That was good. One of my favorite parts in Midtown to go to is Unicorn Disco. Unicorn Disco is the hype place, especially like on a Friday to Sunday night. It's like hella people there, which I like being surrounded by people, good music, good drinks, you know, people doing their motherfucking thing. This night hyped me up to the fucking moon. On average, on a scale from 1 to 10, let's be real now. Poetic justice, I am a solid 7 on average. And that's not like, I'm not like ugly. I'm not like fine, but like just like all right. I'm average. I can live and accept that. So we go to this place, you know, the people got drinks flowing, music schmanging, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, my hips don't lie, baby. My hips do not lie. If I hear something good, they gonna start moving. So I'm on the dance floor. I'm having a good time, and people like noticing me, like, oh yeah, you're a really good dancer. I think that's the only reason they made the comments they made later. So I'm like, yeah, you already know, I appreciate it, dab them up. And then something that rarely happens in a blue moon, I don't know if it was the pheromones that was being released in that space and time, but you know, I'm talking about shorties is pulling me like hey, they dabbing me up, starting conversations with me, I'm chopping it up. Like I was thinking like, yo, I might not be that ugly. Little dick game out here schmanging. We love it. There was this one girl, you know, and me and her, she was cool. So me and like Shorty was, first of all, can we talk about her? Shorty was fucking wild. Because I'm not okay with people touching me in a public place. Mainly because, okay, look, there's a lot of people around. I don't know none of y'all niggas. This is kind of weird, but yet at the same time I'm also okay with dancing with people like that. So it's a weird double entendre. I don't know if that's not what it's called. Rewind, take that out. But it's weird. It's very, very weird. So this particular girl, I'm on the dance floor. I don't know what song was playing, but I was doing a little shimmy rock, and then I'm assuming she came from behind me. She comes from behind, twirls around into my field of vision, takes her finger, rubs it like up my abs, and I'm pretty sure she put it in her mouth. At this point in time, I feel violated. Like this bitch just took a piece of me. Like this bitch just took a part of me and put it in her. I'm thinking like, hey, yo, like this is crazy, broski. This is wild. So I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? I can't, I'm not with the shits. I am not. And then like that girl disappeared from my field of vision right after. Like I felt violated, but in a good way, because now I'm scoping out. Like now I'm paying more attention to my surroundings, because that was already weird as fuck. And I'm still in the middle of the dance floor, and like I'm observing people. I'm just like, okay. And like the finer girls in this club bar area, they were looking at me. I'm like, yo, in my mind, I'm hyping myself up to the gods. I'm like, yo, I am that nigga. Like some had eyes of lust. Some were just like, okay, then my man's is killing it. And I'm like, just like, yo, like, this is why I like going to clubs / like bars and stuff. I like attention. I'm an attention whore. I love it so fucking much. You give me attention, I might suck your toes. Like, I love it. I love it. But while I was at this club, some things I thought about. I want to know how many unread texts get sent out from girls who are having a girl nights away from their man. How many? It's just a fucking wild thought. Like, you know, like, cause I was dancing, I'm thinking about like, yo, like a lot of girls I keep like they'll dance, they, you know, doing their thing, whatever, and they'll reach into their pocket or their the bottom slit of where the fuck this is, your dress, pull it out, return it, and I'm just thinking, yo, shorty just got a text from her mans, and she just looked at that bitch and put it away. I'd be a worried ass nigga. Speaking from me, I'd be like, I text my girl like, hey, yo. First of all, let me clarify. I'm not texting my girl on a girl's night, because I would have texted her on a guy's night. Because like, bitch, I'm not trying to hear from you. You're the last person I'm trying to hear from. I'm trying to hear from these bitches in front of me. Like, that's fucking wild. I can't be saying it. I'm not trying to hear from you. We got other honeys around us. The point is to get away from you. Men don't have guys' nights. It's like, yeah, men don't have guys' nights to just drink with the bros and get away from their women. Getting away from their women is one factor, but from what I understand, most men go to the strip club. I don't like strip clubs, as y'all know. I hate strip clubs. I hate them with a passion, bro. like, what sane man thinks like, hey, yo, we should go to the strip club tonight, bro? For why? It's like, hey, the girls there, they fine, bro. I'm talking about they scrump delicious, and like, we should just go, you know, throw a couple dollars at them and, you know, enjoy our time. Nigga, that's gay. Nigga, you tripping. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I think that's gay. I think that's kind of gay. If you're going to the strip club specifically just to not get, that's what you're going out to not get bitches. That's what you're doing. I can't support it. That's some nasty ass shit. You dirty. Oh, that's fucking wild. But yeah, like, how many of those texts do you think go out? Like, if I was that type of guy, I'm texting my girl profusely that night, to the point she gonna get her response is going to be annoying. Like, nigga, can you leave? Like, what do you, girl, ladies, what do y'all respond to that? How do y'all respond to that? Let me know. I'm very curious. Also, another thing about this whole club situation, I said this on a TikTok before, going to the club with your significant other is by far the ultimate test of y'all relationship. This is why I know I ain't shit. This is why I know I ain't shit. And also why I think I might be slightly polyamorous. Slightly. Wait, I'm at the club. Again, I'm with my lady. And we're turning up. We're having a good time. We're turning up. And then the eyes, I start feeling the eyes looking at me. And some girls actually approached me. And they chop me up. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm be acting dumb as shit. Like I'm like, hey, what you mean how I'm doing? I'm doing extravagant, lovely. How you doing? I be acting dumb as shit, boy. So in this scenario, hey, how you doing? I be smiling harder than the motherfucker because like I recognize game. I'm like, what you mean how I'm doing? I'm doing extravagant. How you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm doing good. This, that, and the third. So did you come here by yourself? I think about it for like 0.3 seconds. Damn, this girl batty. Oh well, I'm gonna then obviously answer her question. I go like, no, wait. Yeah. I said that right. I had to think that I'd say that right. Like, no, I did not come here by myself. You see that right there in the middle of the dance floor? Yeah, that's mine. And then she's like, oh, okay, I understand. Well, you have a good night, then we shake hands and we dip off. And I'm just thinking to myself, if I was in an anime, right? If I was in an anime, my harem would go crazy. This is some conceited ass shit. But like, I'm just thinking like, yo, my harem would be crazy. Like in my harem, I imagine that I'd have a taste of every kind of woman I like. You know, little white women. I got some sisters in there. I got some Arabic ladies. I got some Indian. I got some natives. I got some Asians. And like, I'm just sitting there on the fucking throne, like, yeah. People looking at me like you ever seen Superfly? Like, you know how he was in I think it was Brandon T. Jackson in that movie. I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. But he was in a throuple. Yeah. I'd be down for that. All right. Something I've been thinking about is white people, how do y'all describe racism to your kids? Because that's a nearly impossible concept to describe to a child. As a young black kid, my father did an okay job of ingraining racism lessons into me. Being like, yo, if you're ever stopped by the cops, put both hands out the window, slow movements, nothing too fast, don't reach for nothing. Speak with respect, even when he's being disrespectful. So you won't get shot and killed, typical shit. But like for white people, with their culture being what it is, with their American culture being what it is, how do you teach the concept of racism to a child? Now, what made me think about this? I will tell you, listening from somewhere around a random part of the world. I was watching one of the latest episodes of Atlanta, which, by the way, Atlanta's doing a fucking phenomenal job. Great, like 3 or so episodes in a row, they'll do a continuity story based on like Earn, and then like earning his story as it progresses, whatever. And then like they have like one off episode where it's like a film festival type ish episode, or like somebody compared it to a Black Mirror episode, like has nothing to do with the story. So in this particular one, Black people were able to get reparations, and if you were able to track who was your oppressor, your descendants' oppressors' ancestors, or like descendants, not ancestors, their descendants, you could sue them for pain and suffering, and get your restitution, and or I just said the fucking word. I just said the word. Reparation. There we go. Reparation from them. So in this episode, the main character of this episode, he's a white guy, works at a nice little firm business thing. He makes a decent amount of money. And right now he's going through a divorce. And Shaquisha, her name was something like that. She'd come knocking on your door like, yep, this is the guy, your ancestors enslaved my ancestors about 400 years ago. Now I'm suing you. She was suing him for $3 million. And this was some ghetto ass shit, boy. She popped up at bro work. She popped up at bro like dates and shit. She popped up at, I'm pretty sure she popped up at this nigga's school too. At his daughter's school. And then like one day he's driving home. And his daughter asked him, Dad, are we racist? And then I don't like the way he answered the question. But probably which gave us the answer that he's probably just a little bit racist. A lot of phlegm in my throat. Yeah, that was nasty. I gotta clean that up. I'm probably gonna clip that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut that out. Oh, all right. But yeah, how do you? Okay, scratching race. How do you teach racism to a child? Period. How I think I would handle it. Because again, the concept of racism is nearly impossible to teach a child. Because it's impossible for them to grasp that there are some people in this world that are biased and prejudiced just because of the way that you look. That's not okay, but it is what today's society is. And as Black Americans, it's our job to navigate that space. If I had to teach my son and or daughter about racism, how would I do it? I think it'd probably be bold words. It'll probably be better for them to see it up hand in person. See, like, showing them, like, the stuff with George Floyd, showing them about the riots in Ferguson, showing and teaching them about our history as Black Americans. Because I think critical race theory is now being, like, etched out of, like, school. Because a lot of schools, especially in the South, they're trying to, they don't like teaching about slavery. And it's a white agenda. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to read this, whatever. So I read this tweet that said that anime niggas be slaying the best dick. Now, I would know nothing about that because I am a straight male, but like as a nigga that does watch a lot of anime, I can say I be giving I be slanging dick, bro. Like, I be slanging dick like it's going out of fucking style. Like, you know, here's how I know I slang dick. You ever finish up on a John, and then she hit you with that, why you doing that to me? And you be looking dumb, you be acting dumb as shit, boy. You be acting dumb as shit. You be like, what you mean? What I do? You be acting dumb as shit. And then like you just didn't beat her fucking back in. Like, that's how I know I'll be slanging dick. Because that happens, like, every time I have a new sexual encounter with somebody, and I give some of my best work, like the emotional connection gotta be there for me to like all right, gotta crack the legs, you know, do the Goku stretch, got the stretching action here, yeah. I'm gonna destroy this bitch fucking cheeks. That's how I know I'm about to go in there. Like if she make me want to stretch before we get into it, oh baby, you're not gonna be able to walk. It is my job to ensure that you get yourself. I like it. Oh, I'm crazy. I'm crazy as fuck. All right. Free Tory. If you don't know, the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez case is steadily progressing. Now, despite how cases should be played out, which should be in court, now it's starting to look like the real battle of who will win this case will be determined by the court of public opinion. Because now both Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion are quote unquote trading blows. Tory hasn't said anything about it, but Megan, she's been very, very vocal. With her song Plan B that just recently dropped, it's very much suspected to be about Tory Lanez. Here, let's play a snippet of that. So, video watchers, this is a good time for you to transfer over to the audio only. All right, I think we get the fuck. It's a whole like 2-minute song, 2-3 minutes, and she's basically just going in on Tory, allegedly. Not only that, but this past week she was on an interview with Gayle, and Gayle's a daytime TV show host of like Good Morning America, I do believe, or something like that, something along those lines. And first of all, Gayle was a terrible interviewer because she didn't ask the questions that the audience wanted to know. And not only that, but fucking Megan Thee Stallion was fucking fake crying because she was trying to garner some type of sympathy from people. Here's my thing about the Tory Lanez versus Megan Thee Stallion case. Megan, why the fuck do you keep changing your fucking story? This bitch changed her fucking mind more than a fucking... Can I say that? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. That's Patreon level shit. But this bitch changes her mind quite often. Like, damn, I need you to find the story and stick to it. Don't change the details because that's what's making you look kind of shifty. And in this said interview, she tried to portray herself like she had nothing to do with the situation, like she just got out the car and Tory pulled out and said, damn, bitch, and just shot her in the foot. Now, keep in mind, initially, she didn't think she got shot. Let me say that. Let me not say that. Initially, she said a piece of glass cut her. Okay, all right. Then she said. Then later she come out to say she only said that because she didn't want to feel like nobody dying from the police. Okay, I get it, Miss Snap. I get it. But in this interview, she begins to paint a narrative that she had nothing to do with what was going on. So allegedly, Tori, no, not Tori, just, okay, I'm gonna just say it. Allegedly, she got kicked out of the party. Her and her little group and entourage, including Tory Lanez, all got kicked out of Kylie Jenner's party. They were in the car and they were arguing. To which the car was then pulled over, and she that's now we caught up with the main details of the story, that she said she got cut or a bullet shot her. I do think she did get shot, but I don't think Tory Lanez shot her. Who were some other suspects? Well, first of all, the gun residue wasn't even on Tory when they arrested him. So how could he shot the gun? And the gun wasn't registered in his name. It was registered to the security officer. Think, Mark, think. Like, one of these things is not like the other. Like, it's fucking common sense. And the fact that most people still like riding with, like, you can debate if she's a good artist. I don't think she's a good artist, but you can debate that. But like, she basically destroyed this man's fucking career off of a fucking allegation. It's been 2 years since this shit happened. I hope when Tory Lanez fucking beat this shit, boy, I hope he gets some well-deserved retribution. Make that bitch career fucking flop to the ground. She don't need to be in the industry no more. And latest news, Dave Chappelle got tackled on stage today. This just happened. I woke up in the morning and I saw the news report. I said, oh, I got scared. I thought somebody had taken one of the brightest stars that ever to grace the sky from us. Dave Chappelle. I look up to Dave Chappelle for a multitude of reasons. I look up to him because he was willing to turn down a bag to stand on his ideals. I look up to him because his style of comedy is a level of intelligent ignorance that I wish to hope to achieve one day. I look up to him because Dave is that nigga. Okay? So what happened? Well, Dave was performing at the Netflix's A Joke festival. He was doing the closing set, to which a member of the crowd then got on and rushed Dave, rushed Dave on stage and tackled him to the ground. Now, this man was apparently armed with a gun that held a knife within it, which I don't know how that works, but it does apparently. But Dave's security fucked this man up. Like, I'm talking about, they beat the brakes off mans. Like, you look at the video of him getting put in the gurney, his arm is literally bent out of place and faced the other way. And this man he looked like Martin, that one episode where he got that allergic reaction. Yeah, I know about that, nigga. I'm not that young. Yeah, bitch. Fuck with me. All right, let's get into our music bag. All right. We got Future's album, I Never Liked You. Now, this album was a very tiered album. Now, I'm not the biggest Future fan, but I can appreciate art. First of all, the Kanye song on this whole go crazy. The Kanye song was A1. I can't remember the name of it. But it has something about setting the city on fire, and like not only that, but like you can see in the Kanye's verse, he's dealing with his like his mental issues with like what's going on with him and Kim and his kids. And I like to see that. I like to see a black man healing from his trauma. The song "For a Nut" is what you. I just flew a bitch out for a nut, for a nut. It's some toxic ass shit. Both of the Drake features went crazy on this one, and it gave me this Drake on both words are fucking me up tonight, bro. Drake on both of the features on this album gave me very reminiscent of the collab album that him and Future do have together, and I like to see that because I think that was one of the greatest Drake projects ever produced. But listening to this album, I kind of got like a deeper sense of it. Because like me, when I'm listening to albums, I try to think of like the greater story, the greater theme, and what is he trying to convey? What are they trying to convey in this album? And this is what I got for you. In this album, futuristic. In this album, Future has a rep for being toxic. Everybody knows this. The Book of Future, he got a rep for it. But with a deeper look at the track list and actual songs that are inside this album, you can see a bit of vulnerability coming from him. And the vulnerability comes out in the tracks like Wait For You and Voodoo. I think that the album was supposed to display, his gritty, his focus, getting to the bag mindset versus his vulnerability and his emotions being with women. The duality of both. And because even the phrase "I never liked you," that's toxic as fuck. But when you get into the album, you learn why he you kind of understand. I wouldn't say learn, but you understand why he's toxic, and that he can be perceived that, but he really he has a vulnerability to him. So that's what I like for this album. So some songs for you to check out is Wait For You, Puffin' on Zooties, Voodoo, I'm on One. All fucking great songs. Alright, let's get into TVs and movies. Are You the One? Me and Carl have finally finished season 6 of Are You the One? And this shit, when I tell you they pulled a fucking dub out the back of their ass, they only had one confirmed match out of their 12 episode series, and they were there for 10 weeks. One confirmed match in 10 weeks. And on their last week, they came together, they mixed match, they tried a couple different scenarios, and they got the dub. They got the fucking dub. I didn't think they was gonna win. Cause how you go from one match to 11? They did their motherfucking thing. So shout out to the people of season 6. They most definitely shout out to the MVP, Keith. Keith is the one that rallied everybody together. Now at the end, in the middle of this season finale episode, he got a little crazy because he saw, first of all, rest in peace, Alexis. He saw Alexis flirting with Michael. I'm like, okay. But she took it a little bit too far because Alexis was a jealous bitch. No offense, because she died. A couple of years ago. Alexis was a very jealous woman. So she saw that shit and she was like, yo, bet. Walks off with Michael. They start shotgunning some beers. She poured beer on her yitties and had Michael just slurp it up. And the best part, they went back in the house. Michael acted like ain't shit happened. Michael was doing him. And then when Keith funded him, hey yo, what the fuck went on? He's like, ain't nothing go on, big bro. We was just shotgunning some beers. And he was like, man was on a rampage, bro. It burned her fucking childhood fucking bunny. This man, and that's why they weren't a good match, because like she said, they were both too vengeful, which was a great way to put that. So I watched this. I got recommended this movie on Netflix called Collateral Beauty. It's one of the great Will Smith projects, because you know he does have his lower tier movies. In Collateral Beauty, Will Smith loses the life of his daughter, and then begins to write letters to time, death, and love, basically mad and angry at them for taking away his daughter. Now, in this movie, Will Smith plays a character named Howard. Howard owns a big business that basically given him millions throughout the years, and he has a couple partners that he started with. Now, he's been recluse for over 3 years since his daughter's death, and they need this man to get better, because if he doesn't, they're going to lose significantly amount of money, and they're going to lose their business. So what they do is kind of fucked up. They hire actors to play love, death, and time, and basically answering the letters that he wrote, to basically force the reality of like that, hey, your daughter's gone and you can't continue like this. Aren't those the three absolutes in the world? Love, death, and time. Because time, Albert Einstein called time a persistent illusion, because day, night, morning, afternoon is all perceptions that we use to measure. It's all man-made perceptions that we use to measure our own day passing. There's no actual concept of time. We just made it. No matter what happens, everything begins and ends with death. Life begins after death. Does it? I'm not gonna get to it. But then everything has love within it. Love for a job, love for life. It was a good movie, essentially, and I thought it was very interesting to see, to get into the psychology of it, of writing letters to concepts. Because because like concepts like that are like very intriguing. Like if I wrote a letter to love, I would probably say something like, love you are boundless. No matter where I turn, you're there. And though sometimes that you sting you prick me like a thorn on a rose, but even the rose has the sweetest of scents. That was fire. That was fire, wasn't it? But yeah. What are we going to do? All right, let's get into some anime, though. Spy Family. When I tell you, this nigga Twilight pulled the fuck up for Anya. That was the most G shit in the anime so far. This was my fucking episode for Spy Family. Let me explain. This episode of Spy Family is finally time for the interview. Twilight has been preparing both Yor and Anya for this specific day. So they pull up on the campus and they off-rip both Yor and fucking Twilight notice they're being watched. And they pledge an allegiance to the school founder. They're doing they're helping out citizens, like random people events. And there was one part where I knew Yor is not to be fucked with. There was a random stampede, which wasn't a part of the test. And like the stampede could have had a potential to hurt a whole lot of people. So Yor is like, oh shit. She dropped her bags, jumps up, hits this fucking cow that's leading the stampede in its pressure points, and the cow just shut down. I've never witnessed more G shit. I've ever in an anime like this. And then she hit some kind of, she did the superhero landing. And like, if that was me, and if I just saw my wife just basically take down a fucking cow / stampede like that, I'm gonna be scared and I'm gonna be horny at the same time. I don't know which one to feel. Because that was hot. So, they go up and they finally get into the interview room. And you know, like one of the head dudes, he's there like, hey, thank you for your assistance earlier. Now let's finally get into this interview. There's this nigga in the interview, he just bitter. He bitter as fuck. Cause his wife is leaving him. He don't got no hairline. He don't get no bitches. His life is fucking miserable. So you know what he does? He makes these interviews hard as fuck to pass for everybody because he hates life. So, interview starts. They interview Twilight, they interview Yor, and then, like, man starts asking intruding questions. Like, oh, how do you feel not being her real mom? Nigga, did I fucking ask you how I feel? Oh, woosah. Alright. And then it was a straw to break the camel's back. They started interviewing Anya. And the same bitter nigga, he goes something like, how do you feel like Yor is compared to your real mother? And then Twilight thinking, like, I know this nigga just did not fucking ask this shit. Fucking Anya's parents are probably fucking dead. And again, Anya's a telepath. She hears it. And she starts crying about her mom. And then you see Yor, she just start, I'm about to kill this man. And then we get the dopest anime scene to follow. Twilight just thinking this, oh, bro, restrain yourself. Then all you see, he's like, it's not my fault. You ain't got a, bro was like, it's not my fault. You ain't got a real mother. Then that nigga Twilight pull the fuck up. About to give this man that one punch man type. Oh my God, that's too clean. But he stopped himself short and ends up killing a fly and breaking a desk at the exact same time. He's like, oh, my hand slipped. This is a nigga not to be fucked with. And then they just leave on some G shit. Fucking Twilight pulled the fuck up for Anya as he's supposed to do. I'm on Spy Family. Spy Family is my favorite anime this series. This season. Alright. A dating sim. I'm on episode 5. Let's talk about dating sim. Last episode, you know, it was the start of the 1v5. Okay. Main character gave 4 of them niggas unparalleled smoke. Even one nigga planted a bomb on his mecha. Blew that bitch up. And my nigga still gave him smoke because the mecha was unfazed. So now we're in the final fight. This episode, he faces the prince. And you know, there's a little dialogue going back and forth between the both of them. And he tells the prince, like, if you've not thought about what your actions can tell, you don't even know this girl, but you fallen in love with her. Fuck out of here! Proceeds to give the prince easy smoke. Clap that nigga. Now we just sitting there like, damn. This nigga really ran the fade on a 1v5 and smoked all 5 of them. And then afterwards, it was a lot of like damage control. Like he had to apologize to the kingdom's royal family. He had to renounce his rank, even though they promoted him even further. So now like he owned property and shit. And like it was just like it was a lot. And so like I'm very excited to see where the growth of this is. But like at the ending of the episode, we see because like all the people that fought him in the 1v5, they all lost their status because they lost the fight. So they were renounced from their families, and so they basically start going to the dungeons to build some kind of like to build their money up so they can fight old bro again. So I'm very excited to see where that story takes off. Tomodachi Game. If you don't know about Tomodachi Game is basically Squid Games, but in an anime form. Basically, they have these 5 students. They have an unsurmountable debt. They get kidnapped and put into this game where they can have a chance to not only repay their debt, but also get a little money on the side if they choose to play. But in this game, they have one friend in their group that is steadily trying to destroy their friendship because it's not 100% sure if he's the one who put them in the game in the first place, but he's definitely the manipulator of it. So he's manipulating the friendships, manipulating his friends for a bitch. Bro, bro is so obsessed with one, like his friend, but like she knows she likes somebody else. She doesn't like the dude who's manipulating her. And it's a good anime, but this episode we get to the climax of one of the games, and basically we find like the traitor in their friend group gets outed, and it's like, yeah, we know you've been on some bull crap, bro. You've been on some bullshit. And then they call him out. Like he starts having a whole mental fucking breakdown. So Tomodachi Game is very mid, but I'm excited to see where it goes. Alright. Is that all mine? Yep. That was a solid episode. I feel like I ranted a lot, but like you know how we get it. We get it how we live it. Alright, let's see if we can find that. Ooh. Alright, let's see if we can take this bitch out. You know what? We gotta hear. You know what? We gotta hear from my baby. As we head out this episode, we gotta hear from my baby. If you don't know, now you know, nigga. If I can fucking find it. You know what? Why is it so full? Dude. Well, y'all already know. Go ahead, check out the Patreon, support the podcast. It's the best and only way to help us grow and help us get to the goals that we need to do. Also, leave us a full 5-star rate because you know we be working hard as fuck over here. And it's also a great way to help our podcast grow and expand and help us get to where we need to be. Follow all of our socials, Only Poetic Justice and Justice the Poet on Twitter. Y'all already know. Remember, guys, keep the thoughts out your bed. Keep them in your mind. Jesse, go ahead and take us home. We're gonna cry. I told you we was gonna cry together. I told y'all we was gonna cry together. I told y'all. Este amor me dejó sorda. Los consejos de mi mano no me llegan. Me duele ahora. delegarme ese barrio desespera el peno, escapo tu memoria, te dicen canciones que tienen que tu nombre, que sean otro, quieres excusas. Te hace falta moverlato una perra. Te hace falta que te una quela. Te hace falta encontrar una gemela que quiera el corazón que te dé tu pena. Así yo puedo entender.